Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. We restarted again yesterday and it already feels normal again. Right, before I get into sharing today's teachers with you, I'd like to remind you that what makes your meditation more of an inner experience is to try and make sure you have less outer distractions. So in other words, get your space as dark as you possibly can. A sleeping mask is also a great idea. If it's already daylight where you are and it's difficult to get the place so dark. And then earphones. Earphones are always a great way to make sure you have less outside distractions and more of an inner journey, inner experience. Ilza, a very good morning to you. Hello, it's good to see you. And Marcella, good morning. Really, really good to see you here. All right, our theme for today is surrender. And I have a few quotes from some awesome teachers that speak about surrender in different ways so that we can get a bit of an understanding of what surrender is. Hey, Sun Marie, good morning. Happy Tuesday indeed. All right. McCall Erickson says, surrender means giving up what we think is happening for what is actually happening. Giving up what we think is happening for what is actually happening. And my own experience of surrender certainly is that it is the best productivity tool that we can use. Over and above whatever spiritual positivity it brings, surrender is just the most practical thing that we can do, because surrender means we'll deal with reality exactly the way it is, without trying to avoid, without trying to numb, without trying to turn away. Surrender means we have put everything down and we're open to just accepting reality the way it is and dealing with it exactly as it is. Maggie, a very good morning to you, and Charlene, good morning. Right, the next teacher is Mark Nepo, and Mark says, surrender is like a fish finding the current and going with it. And that is certainly something we find in surrender. We find where the energy is flowing. We find how we can use the flow that's already there to our advantage. I've heard the opposite. I've heard a criticism of this saying, surrender is only for dead fish. You don't have to spend too much time watching dolphins and whales to see how these very intelligent fish use the flow that's already there to their advantage. So going with the flow is certainly not just for dead fish, but in surrender, we find where the flow is and we can use it to our own advantage. Eckhart Tolle says, bring acceptance into your non-acceptance. Bring surrender into your non-surrender and see what happens. And then Nara Lee says, when you don't know what to do. Now here's the key. For me personally, this is the key. When you don't know what to do. And in the absence of surrender, what do we tend to do when we don't know what to do? We tend to do this. We tend to be lost. And in the moment of being lost, deciding to run in a direction. What happens if you're lost and you decide to run in whatever direction makes sense to you? It tends to be that we get more lost then. So there is a quote that says, when you're lost, at least don't run. And this is the point that Nara Lee tries to make, is when you don't know what to do, then just surrender. When we don't know what to do, but we have the compulsion to keep doing, then we're only muddying our water and we'll see less. We'll have less and less clarity. So Nara Lee's word says, when you don't know what to do, keep surrendering. Surrender even more. When there's no clarity, all the splashing in the world will not bring more clarity, but less. Right, this is our journey today. Surrender. And we will certainly use that analogy. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and let's float away on today's journey together. Starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale. And let it go. A deep breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, feel yourself grow from your core and expand outwards in all directions. Once you've reached your full height, then let all of it again go. With every exhale, soften. Every time you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. While you continue your full body breathing, inhaling all the way up and exhaling all the way down. I want you to imagine yourself sitting on the beach, watching the waves roll in. With every wave rising, you're inhaling and your body is rising. And with every wave crashing out onto the sand, allow your body to exhale and collapse. watching the waves as they roll in and timing your breath and the rise and fall of your body to these waves. We'll use the image of a beach and waves rolling in for the last part of our meditation today as well. One more time, create a vivid picture of waves rolling into the beach. As you tie your breath and the rise and fall of your body to a wave rising to full strength and then collapsing and retreating. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies to stretch, adjust, and settle down. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles. Forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. And as you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. See if you can tilt your head in one direction while tilting your hips in the opposite. Curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. After softening into presence as much as we can, we'll turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a long and slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make your exhale as long and as slow as you possibly can. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. And invite softness into every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath only for as long as it feels easy. Followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath as you dive deep into you, repeat the word surrender to yourself again. How does this sit with you? What does it mean to you? The word surrender. Take your next big breath. Let's start with the opposite of surrender. I want you to remind yourself of what it feels like to be in the middle of a normal day, just trying to do your thing, trying to do your work, and be in the grip of fear, anxiety, racing thoughts, barely able to make sense of the noisy thoughts racing through your head. Just a reminder of what that feels like as a starting point for today's journey. Take your next big breath. So often when we are in a high brain wave state like that, thoughts are fast and many. So often our impulse is to try and think harder, think better, and actually adding more thoughts to already busy thoughts. It is like standing in your pond and finding that you've already been splashing in this pond. Already the surface is choppy. Already the water is murky and you can't see the bottom. And in this state of being scared about not seeing, we have the impulse to splash even more. Take a look at this picture as you take your next big breath. when I'm in a fearful, anxious state, and my thoughts are fast and many. Adding more thinking, trying to think harder and think better. Adding more thoughts on top of thoughts will only drive my brain waves higher and higher, making the situation worse. Just like in our pond, when in the absence of clarity, our fear grows. And as our fear grows, we splash more, moving further and further away from seeing with clarity. Take your next big breath. The opposite of surrender is this kind of splashing. When it feels like I can't surrender, I have to do something. But in the course of doing, I can see even less. Imagine yourself stepping out of your pond and for the moment just doing nothing. Take your next big breath. What could stepping out of your pond look like in a practical way? It could look like sitting down for a meditation. It could look like stopping for a few breaths. It could look like making yourself a cup of tea or going for a walk. What are your favorite tools for taking a moment to just put everything down? And with your next big breath, see how you do this. See how you are able to step out of your pond, put everything down, and watch the water calm. Take your next big breath. Notice how you can start seeing the bottom of the pond again. As you're able to put everything down and take a few moments for a meditation, a breath, a walk, your brain waves slow down too. And you get given access to a part of your brain that sees with more clarity. The next 1 or 2 steps to take become clear again. Just like your pond has become clear. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together. With every breath, see how your pond becomes clearer, and the next steps come into view. Take a deep breath in, and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, invite softness into every fiber of your being. One more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I want to paint for you another picture of surrender and flow, and how in order to put flow to good use, we need to find how surrender meets discipline, how skill and surrender can work together. So while you return yourself to normal, easy breaths, imagine yourself once again sitting on the beach, watching waves roll in, and noticing that there are a few surfers out there with their boards on the waves. What does it take to be that good with a surfboard, racing in front of a wave towards the beach? It takes sitting and watching, in surrender on the sand, watching the waves roll in and learning. Recognizing where the flow, where the current is strongest towards the beach, and where the current is strongest away from the beach. There's always a flow that flows in and a flow that flows out. Because when I'm on my board paddling in, I don't want to be fighting every wave. I want to paddle in where the current helps me, where the current naturally draws me deeper in. And while I have to have the skill, while I have to have the discipline to practice, to swim, to paddle with my board, it would be senseless to fight the waves as I do that. And watching the surfers do their tricks on the wave as they move closer to the beach, you can see how much skill is involved. But not once is it in resistance to what the ocean is doing. The whole act, paddling out, finding a wave and riding it this way again, all of this action happens in surrender. Surrender doesn't just mean doing nothing. But it means doing nothing in resistance. I'll read to you again the words from our teachers this morning. Surrender means giving up what we think is happening for what is actually happening. Surrender is like a fish finding the current and going with it. Bring acceptance into your non-acceptance. Bring surrender into your non-surrender, and then see what happens. And then, when we're in that murky space, where we have no clarity and we can't see what to do, first surrender. Keep surrendering. Surrender even more. Because surrender always leads to the clarity of being able to see what the next step is. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this very clear image of my pond being stormy. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for seeing so clearly what happens when I believe in my anxious mind that I have to keep doing something, I have to keep splashing. I only create more muddiness. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for seeing with so much clarity what happens if I'm able to find a way to surrender. Stop for a few breaths, go for a walk, have a meditation. Instead of thinking more thoughts, go in the opposite direction. big breath in. Thank you for getting better at recognizing when I'm splashing in my pond. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. And the reminder is that surrender does not only mean sitting down for a meditation. We can take action in surrender. We can create from a place of surrender. An example that comes to my mind is the book The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. It's worth getting it and reading it again. He does a really beautiful job of explaining what surrender is and how we can find our way to create from a place of surrender. It doesn't always take us putting everything down. We can become good at taking action even in a surrendered state. Thank you, beautiful humans. Thank you, Charlene, Ilza, Sunmari, Moira, good morning. Thank you for popping in. Linda, it's so good to see you. Happy New Year. Marcella, I'm trying to remember who else is back there. Whoever I might not have said hello to yet. Maggie, and everyone else. Big love to you all. Have a beautiful day. See you soon. Ciao.